الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن سيدنا محمدا عبده ورسوله اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد النبي الأمي وآله وصحبه أما بعد. My dear brothers and sisters, my dear children, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today, inshallah, I'm going to talk about family issues, family jars, family problems. Something, unfortunately, we are all experiencing. Whether you've been married for 6 months or for 40 years or 50 years, unfortunately, if the problems are not between the husband and the wife, the problem is between the children and the parents. And very sad, very sad. In Islam, alhamdulillah, we are so lucky because, as I mentioned many times in the past, we have very clear guidance on how to choose a future partner, a husband or a wife. We also have clear guidance on how to deal with disputes. If there is a problem, how to deal with the problem. But unfortunately, none of us, including myself, were aware of the terms and conditions of the marriage contract in Islam. No, none of us. When I got married at the age of 24, nobody told me marriage in Islam is a contract. These are your rights and your obligations, your responsibilities. Nobody. Has anybody told any of you, have you read the marriage contract? Are you aware of your rights, your obligations? No, we don't. We don't. Were we aware at the age of 24 when I got married to the criteria, the prophetic criteria regarding how to choose a wife? Yes, I was, alhamdulillah, because my father taught me. And my mother was the role model for me. But does everybody, or is everybody aware when they go out and choose a partner, what they should be looking for? Are we really still concerned whether the man is virgin or the woman is virgin? Are we really concerned this time now, the world we live in today, that the wife must be pure and the man must be pure? No, no, we are not. No, we are not. What happens when your son or your daughter decides to marry a non-Muslim? How are you going to react? Yesterday I attended a funeral of a Muslim man. I never seen him in my life. I don't know him. I met his Jewish wife by pure coincidence. I was conducting a marriage and she was the caterer. She came to us and said, I loved what you're saying. My husband is a Muslim. The man died last week and I went to see her and she said, actually, he was closer to Judaism than Islam. He even remembered the Jewish festivities than remembering the Islamic festivities. And it made I'm not joking, actually, I was so shocked, so upset. And his nephew came from Egypt. And he was questioning the method of burial and where is he going to be buried, etc. So please, brothers and sisters, if you are married to a non-Muslim, I'm talking to men now, you must leave a will, and in your will you must specify how do you want to be buried when you die. Very important. We never think of these things. How do you want to be buried? You want to be buried as a Muslim or a non-Muslim? You have to decide. And you have to put it in your will so that when you die, your non-Muslim wife will not say, he was more Christian than a Muslim. He was atheist. A few years ago, maybe 30 years ago now, I attended the funeral of a young boy. The mother insisted that he must be buried as a Christian, and he had the service in the church at the graveyard. Allah, it makes me cry. It makes me cry. And then we're about to bury the boy. And the father came to me and said, please, Dr. Fahim, please, can you do a funeral prayer for him, Islamic funeral? So I prayed at the graveyard before we buried him. I prayed. Salatul Janazah. Why? Why do we think about it? Okay, from the very, very beginning, you spend a lot of time looking for a partner, either you or your children, either looking for a partner for yourself or for one of your children. A lot of time. You check so many websites and you talk to so many people because you are looking for a nice boy or a nice girl for your children. Are you aware of the criteria? What did the Prophet ﷺ say? When he said, when we go out looking for a bride, as men, what do we look for? Beauty. Beauty. She looked like Madonna. Beautiful. What is the latest? Who are the latest ones now? Nicole Kidman, maybe. Yeah. So, okay, fine. That's one of the. Prophet ﷺ is saying that. Yes, we do. We look for beautiful women, of course. All her wealth. Rich woman, my goodness. Look at the house she has, or the assets, or the job she's doing. She's a banker. She gets $250,000 bonus every year. Okay. Or a status. She's the daughter of Nawaz Sharif. Can you imagine? And you will be promoted and you will reach heavens by marrying her. And then the fourth one, her piety. Piety. A righteous woman. And then the Quran comes in to tell us about righteous women. What do they do? And I'll mention it in a minute. But do we really look for these things? Is the religion today, is that important? Is of any importance even? Or that of any importance to us? No. No. And you spend £20,000 on a wedding. How many functions? 6, 7 functions. What do you do in the functions? You change the dress code for every function. So women are wearing different dress code for every function. How much money? How much money being wasted? When the sunnah is only the walima. Only the walima. Provided by the man. Not even the woman. The man. Is it sunnah? No, the sunnah is to have a huge beard now. This is the sunnah. Brother, someone came to me in the front, grabbed my beard like that. Brother, I said, yes. After I delivered the nikah and the talk, brother, I said, yes. He spoke to me in Urdu. I didn't understand. Brother Kaisar Malik translate. He said, you are not having a handful beard. I said, my brother, it doesn't admit you to paradise. The Jews have beards, the Sikhs have beards, the Christians have beards. This is not Islam. Look at the tradition. Look at the Quran. Apply it. That's what we are lacking, unfortunately. You spend £20,000 on a wedding. You borrow money. You become in debt 6 months later. Either the man or the woman phones me, Dr. Fahim, we can't live together. I said, excuse me, why? You were very happy. Some of them even knew each other 2-3 years before they got married. They used to date, they used to go out. Why? Are we aware of the steps and the phases of marriage? Are we aware of the engagement and the responsibilities during the engagement period? Are we aware of the nikah, aqd al-Quran, aqd? You know, in English they say you are tying the knot, yes? The knot, uqda. Allah calls it uqdatun nikah. The knot of the marriage. Are we aware of the responsibilities of both parties after they have tied the knot? Before they got married, before the consummation of the marriage? Are we aware after that, when they got married, of level of responsibilities? And when we start to have a problem between husband and wife, I divorce you. Just like that.
3 times.
Only 3 times? Are you joking? Who said 3 times? 3 times. I told you, I received an email. He said it over 30 times. Every time he fights with his wife, she provokes him and she said, if you are really a man, if you are a true man, divorce me. So I divorce you. Every time, 30 times. What is the legality of this? And if someone says to his wife, I divorce you, I divorce you, I divorce you, in the same majlis, what we call in the same meeting, is it counted as 1 or 3? And when a man divorces his wife, does he divorce her while she is at the time when she is having her period, or outside that time? And if it is outside, did he have an intimate relationship with her at this time, or he didn't? Is it talaq bid'i? Is it an innovative talaq which contradicts the sunnah? We don't know. We have no clue. We have no clue. If someone is so angry and he divorces his wife, is it acceptable? If someone is drunk, is it acceptable? If someone has been forced to divorce his wife, is it acceptable? My dear brothers and sisters, we have no clue regarding the most important thing in our life, which is marriage. No idea. We married to have lawful sex for those who are pure and chaste and never had sex outside marriage. But we have no idea. Did you pay your wife her mahr? Mahr? Are you joking? In Pakistan, it is the woman who pays the man. It was a Hindu habit. And the mother-in-law who is sitting there while I'm conducting it. Why should my brother pay that much when my husband paid me nothing? Excuse me, it has nothing to do with you. Are we aware of all this? No, we are not. So we need to be educated. We need to be taught. We need even to design a number of seminars and lectures and debates to educate. I was thinking of I'm not joking now, of making it legal requirement before you go and get married to attend a training course and you pass the test and you produce the certificate to the imam who's going to conduct the marriage or the registrar and say, yes, I have attended the... You know now, if you are applying for naturalization, you have to take an English test now. Yes? To make sure that you can communicate at least. And they obtain a CRB to see, are you criminal? Do you really deserve to have the British nationality or not? We need to be so serious. In the Quran, you see in Tunisia, Habib Bourguiba many years ago, he banned men from having a second wife. He banned them. He had the right. He had the right to do that. In Egypt, during Sadat's time, they introduced a new law that if I am a married man, I cannot go and marry another woman without informing the first wife. Became law. I have to inform, I have to send an email or text message or Skype with my wife. First I say, excuse me, I love you so much, but I'm marrying another one. So, when the law of the Quran was revealed, and the Prophet ﷺ explained it to us by practicing it, unfortunately, we are not aware of any of these things. I'll give you another example, very interesting example. I'm going to read first a few verses from Surah Al-Talaq. And listen very carefully, and I'll tell you the question, ask you the question. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. This is chapter 65. يا أيها النبي. يا أيها النبي. Allah is addressing the Prophet, not addressing the people, not addressing the believers. He didn't say, يا أيها الذين آمنوا, يا أيها الناس, يا أيها المسلمين. No. يا أيها النبي. O Prophet. إذا طلقتم النساء فطلقوهن لعدتهن. If you divorce women, then you divorce them to the prescribed periods. عدة. So the message is coming to the Prophet because of the importance. The most hated lawful thing in the sight of Allah is divorce, according to the authentic hadith. Allah hates divorce, hates it. But it's permissible. It's permissible when life will become so difficult for the husband, the wife, and the children. Everybody's going to suffer. So Allah comes in to say, no, I don't like anyone to suffer. Please, you can have a divorce. But there are rules and regulations to follow the divorce. The way you treat the woman during her iddah. What's iddah? What is the meaning of iddah? God forbid a man divorces his wife, and she packs her suitcase and she goes to her parents. First thing she did, he divorced her last night. When the morning came, she packed her suitcase, took the children, and went to her father's house. Is this acceptable in Islam?
No,
Who said no? Why?
because she has to be in Iddah in the period, she doesn't have to go out.
Go out where? Not to leave the house.
The house.
But she can go to work.
Yes, she can go to work.
Exactly. She can go to work. No problem. But not to leave. Why Allah is saying, لا تخرجوهن من بيوتهن ولا يخرجن. Don't force them to go out of the house and they are not allowed to go out. Why? Why they shouldn't leave? Why?
For reconciliation.
For reconciliation, may Allah bless you. Exactly. Why do you close the door of mercy? Maybe when if you could kindly move forward, please, everybody. Maybe when the man decided to divorce her, and he was not angry, he was not drunk, he was not under pressure, maybe he will regret it. Maybe he will start to think, what I'm going to do now with the children. How can I cope with no wife? Where is she going to live? How she's going to survive? Maybe all these things will come into it, and we start to reconcile. And then comes into the formula, how many times can he do that? And that's what we need also to understand. Now, iddah. What's iddah? Okay, how can we measure it? How can we estimate it? What is it? I'm asking the men now. Tell me, a man divorces his wife, and Allah says, فَطَلِّقُوهُنَّ لِعِدَّتِهِنَّ.
From the period she had it and the next 3 periods.
Okay, so now, a woman who does not have a period, a woman who either young and didn't have a period, or a woman who is old, how can we count the period, the iddah?
3 months.
Huh?
3 months.
3 months. 3 months, correct? 3 months. What type of month? Lunar month, exactly, lunar month. Lunar month. Can you imagine now the man who divorces his wife will make a note. وَأَحْصُوا الْعِدَّةِ. The command, وَأَحْصُوا الْعِدَّةِ. Make a note, count it. So today, let's say today, what is the, maybe the
Last day of the month.
no, not February. I'm talking about lunar month. Lunar. Let's say it is the first day of the month, for example, to make it easy. Okay? Okay. Makes a note, and then they have to wait 3 months because this woman doesn't have a period because of old age, or maybe because of young age. There are also women, young women, who have no period. They have a problem. Okay? And the man waits. And he counts. وَأَحْصُوا الْعِدَّةِ. And the command is to the Prophet. The Prophet died 1400 years ago. But it continues to be the command. It's not something taken lightly by Allah. No, it is not. It is major in Islam. And at the end of this chapter 65, at-talaq, the divorce, a warning, a divine warning comes from Allah that He destroyed so many communities because of social inequities and family jars, which led to dealing with the women with injustice all the time, unfortunately. Okay, so you understand this one, 3 months, lunar month. Okay, suppose the woman was pregnant. When does her iddah ends? Deliver the baby. Suppose she will have miscarriage. Suppose a man divorces his wife this evening, and in a couple of hours she has miscarriage. When is her iddah now? Where is the iddah?
The first one.
No, immediately the moment she loses that baby, whether it is miscarriage or delivering the baby, خلاص. وَأُولَاتُ الْأَحْمَالِ أَجَلَهُنَّ أَنْ يَضَعْنَ حَمْلَهُنَّ. خلاص, finished, gone. She doesn't wait then 3 periods, she doesn't wait 3 months, but if the woman has a period, they have to wait 3 cycles, okay? Is that clear? Right. Now regarding taking the wife back, again, let me explain this point because a lot of confusion about this point. وَأُولَاتُ الْأَحْمَالِ أَجَلَهُنَّ أَنْ يَضَعْنَ حَمْلَهُنَ. It's very interesting. And again, another interesting thing here. If a man dies and he leaves behind a widow, How long she has to wait for?
4 months.
4 months and?
10 days.
Very interesting. And if she's pregnant?
Immediately after delivery.
Exactly. It's a very interesting point. Because in the fiqh books there was a dispute between one of the Sahaba regarding this. Should she wait 4 months and 10 days? Or the idda is after she delivers the baby, and the idda is even for al-mutawaffi anha zawjaha, the one who loses her husband, is exactly the same. This is very interesting. Subhanallah. Now, a man divorces his wife, and after a couple of days he says to himself, Satan is so clever. He made me divorce her. So he says to her, I'll take you back. So it's counted as 1. And they started to reconcile, and they started to make sure that it doesn't happen again. But unfortunately, they failed. The same thing happened again. And he took her back. There's how many? 2. الطلاق مرتان. فإمساك بمعروف أو تسريح بإحسان. Divorce is twice. Either you hold her on equitable terms or you depart on equitable terms. وعاشرهن بالمعروف وفارقهن بالمعروف. Live with them on equitable terms and depart on equitable terms. In the same way you got married with music and food and dancing, you divorce in the same way. But do we do that as Muslims? No. We use slippers and mud. And it becomes a scandal. And we tell people everything bad about the woman. And we tell, and the woman tells everybody about the secrets of the marriage. Why? وعاشرهن بالمعروف وفارقهن بالمعروف. شكرا. Live with them on equitable terms and depart on equitable terms. معروف. But we call it in Arabic فضيحة. You know فضيحة? What is in Urdu? Scandal. My goodness. Why? Did you forget? ولا تنسوا الفضل بينكم. Don't forget the good time you had together. They asked the man, why are you divorcing your wife? I'm sorry, she's still my wife, I can't tell you. After the iddah, they asked him, why did you divorce your wife? He said, I'm very sorry, she's no longer my wife, I can't do backbiting. This is how it should be. Why do you go out and tell everybody, my husband used to do this, he used to womanize, he used to drink, he used to gamble, he was incompetent in bed. Why? Or he is saying similar things about the wife. She was dirty, she was smelly, she was not tidy. Why? Khalas. Goodbye. Okay, so this man who took his wife for the second time, it's counted as 2 divorces, okay? Now they are living together. And again, he divorces her again. How many numbers now? 3. The third one now. Can you go back to her? No. Khalas. Finished. That's why Allah says, الطلاق مرتان. Divorce is twice. Which means you can take her back after the second, but you cannot take her back after the third. Khalas. But when can you take her back? That's the next question. When can you take her back? Now, firstly, she has to wait for the iddah. So at this iddah, he has no right to go back to her. Now people must understand this point. They live in the same house. And during the iddah, he cannot sleep with her. Khalas, because this is after the third. And the divorce and the iddah is over. Khalas. She's a divorcee and he is a divorcee. But how can he go back to her? What are the conditions for a man who divorced his wife 3 times to go back to her? She's married again.
And if his husband divorces her,
yes,
with his own will,
or he dies,
then he can go back.
Very
if he
good.
keep the
Okay. Now they invented a method for bringing them back. It's called al-muhallil. You know what is it? I don't know whether you use it in Pakistan. It's used in the Arab world. I don't know whether you use it in Pakistan as well. Okay. They hire a man, they pay him some money, and they bring the imam. Can you do nikah? Khalas, and then divorce her now in the same sitting. Because in Islam, if you did not have sex with the wife, there is no iddah for it. You can do the divorce. فلا إذا طلقتم النساء ولا there is no iddah for them. Okay, there is no waiting period for them. So immediately in the same setting, he signs the marriage and he signs the divorce. This is haram. But unfortunately, it's practiced in Muslim countries. We are playing with the family law all the time. Now the warning which comes at the end of Surah Al-Talaq, and it frightens me. I mean, this is a course at university level where you will spend at least minimum 12 months learning all this, and you can have a master at the end of the or a diploma. Now, I'm going to read these verses because they frighten me every time I read them. وكأي من قرية عتت عن أمر ربها ورسله فحاسبناها حسابا شديدا وعذبناها عذابا نكرا. How many population that insolently opposed the command of the Lord and of His messengers, did we not then call to account, to severe account, and we chastised them with a horrible punishment. فذاقت وبال أمرها وكان عاقبة أمرها خسرا. Then did they taste the evil result of their conduct, and the end of their conduct was perdition. أعد الله لهم عذابا شديدا فاتقوا الله يا أولي الألباب الذين آمنوا قد أنزل الله إليكم ذكرا. Allah has prepared for them a severe punishment in the hereafter. Therefore fear Allah, O you people of understanding who have believed, for Allah has indeed sent down to you a message. Insolent impiety consists not only in the breach of the rights of religion. Even more vital is the defiance of the laws of nature which Allah has made for us. These laws for human beings include those which relate to our fellow beings in society, to whom kindness and consideration form the basis of our social duties. Our duties to our families and our children in intimate matters, such as were spoken of in the last section, are as important as any in our spiritual life. People who forgot the moral law in marriage or family life perished in this world and will have no future in the hereafter. The lessons apply not only to individuals, but to a whole nations or social groups. So please, my dear brothers and sisters, in the same way you read your employment contract, if you are an employee, in the same way you read a sales contract, if you are selling or buying, read, please, the marriage contract. Learn about your rights and obligations. Don't talk about your rights all the time. My rights, my rights, my rights. Yes. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَلَهُنَّ مِثُلُ الَّذِي عَلَيْهِنَّ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ. Women's responsibility corresponds to their rights. You can't ask for rights all the time, and you're denying the people their rights. So please, and I would love to ask my very dear son Mahmoud to organize a series of talks regarding the marriage contract in Islam, starting from the very, very beginning of the choice and ending by how should we reconcile, how should we proceed through divorce. And I have another disaster, my brothers and sisters. Disaster. I know I'm running out of time, but I have to mention it. Couples who only marry under Islamic law, who only have a nikah, the woman suffers to have a divorce. And the man, really and truly, and there are cases here, blackmails them. Give me 100,000 pounds, I'll divorce your daughter. Because the one who has religious marriage only is not recognized in the English courts. She doesn't want the man. She's fed up with him because he beats her up, he's drunk, etc., etc. and she wants to have a divorce, and he refuses to give her a divorce. She cannot go to a court because the court does not recognize the marriage. And I have another example. A Muslim woman, when she is divorced under Islamic law by the judge of this land, which is permissible, she wants to apply English law. So she gets half what the man has. She gets things which are not hers. Excuse me, you insisted on having nikah and civil marriage because you said you are a good Muslim. Now when you are divorcing each other, you want to take everything from the man which doesn't belong to you. How can you accept this? We have major problems. Major problems. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make our life easy, inshallah. Sorry, man.
Salat time change from tomorrow.
From tomorrow.
5:05
Half past 5 Fajr, yes.
4:30 Asr,
4:30 Asr.
8 o'clock Isha.
Okay. 8 o'clock Isha. Shukran. Okay. Assalamu alaikum, please. We've been asked actually to pray for those who are not feeling well.